What's up, guys? Ivan Carranza here, and welcome to Groove of the Week. Today, we're gonna talk about What is Hip by Tower of Power. This is probably like the most well-known Tower of Power song. Rocco Prestia killing it on bass here. And for me, this was probably the first song that I heard by Tower of Power, and I never got to transcribe it because I went through different phases. First, I was like, okay, that's just a bunch of 16th notes. I just have to, play that. What's the fun in that? And after growing up a bit more and starting to really understand more about music, I was like, damn, there's a lot of information there. And that, out of that respect for what was happening in the song, I never got to transcribe it because I wanted to keep the mystique of the song. But I finally did it, and I recently did a cover of that. So if you want to watch the whole video, I'm going to put a card here and a link in the description below. But in the song, there's not that whole lot happening. There's not a bunch of notes or things that are like super complicated technique-wise, but making that 16th note pulse feel and sound good throughout the song is pretty challenging because you have to stick to that for a long time, and you gotta really keep it constant throughout the whole song. By the way, you can download the material for this video in the description below as well. And before we continue, I have some free slots open for online lessons. In case you want to take lessons from me, you can send me a message on social media. I'm going to put my tags here, or you can also send me an email at ivan@ivanbassist.com in case you want to take lessons. Now, let's take a look at the intro first. The song is in E, and what's interesting is that the guitar and the melody, the vocal melody, they play or, use the minor third a lot, which is a G, and especially the vocals, do a lot of these movements of from the minor third to major second, and the guitar also plays this note and sometimes bends it up a little bit so that you're actually playing the major third. And later in the song, Rocco really accentuates the major third, which is G sharp. So we're in this kind of realm of, funk soul, which is major and minor, which is pretty typical for this type of music. So just to let you know. Now the song begins with a drum fill on the snare, and then Rocco plays the open E string. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. I'm gonna repeat that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we begin on the last 16th note of the bar before the 1 with an open E, and then go to the E on the 7th fret. Now, what's really interesting, or really important, here is that we need to mute with our left hand. Now, I've done a video about this playing technique as well. I'm gonna put a card here if you want to explore that much further, but basically it's just I'm laying my fingers on top of the strings so that I choke them a little bit. This is without anything, right? And this is with the muting. Now you don't want to completely choke them out because then you don't have any note content, but you have to experiment a bit how much pressure you use in your fingers to get some of that low end and and a bit of sustain, but it's not. You have like a spike, and then you want to have that. So definitely gotta practice that a bit. Now, like I mentioned, we play on the 7th fret of the A string, and you gotta keep that pulse going of 16th notes. And what's interesting here, or interesting and important, is that you have to pay attention on which finger leads the 16th note pulse as well, because you have to then play the octaves of the E string, of the E on the 7th fret. And right there, I actually did it wrong, because if I zoom into my right hand, I wanna have my middle finger going up to the octave. That is not that ideal, because I have to cover much more ground with the index finger. So for that, I have to lead with my index finger. So the first note of the 16th note groups starts with the index finger. And that is a movement that happens throughout the song as well. So after the octave here, we play the 7th fret of the A string again a couple of times, and then the open E string, and then the whole thing repeats again. Sometimes Rocco throws in a B instead of the open E string, like that, but you can just stick to the open E string pretty much for the whole song. So if you were to practice that in a loop, it would be kind of like this. And I would suggest like just put in a metronome and very, very slowly go through this, because it is pretty fast in the original tempo. And you want to stay relaxed on your right hand. You don't want to cramp up, so you don't really need to like really attack the strings. It's, you know, the more relaxed you are, the better. Because like I mentioned, you have to carry these throughout the whole song, which is like 5 minutes long or something. So stay relaxed, practice it slowly first. Now, in the middle of the verse, there are a couple of interesting runs, which are pretty fun to play, and they begin exactly the same way as the intro, so like that. But after that phrase, you do I'm gonna play it a bit faster and then back down. So what is happening there? We play like at the beginning, you know, root note, octave, then the open E string, and then I play like this with my middle finger, so I land with my middle finger here, so that I can play the minor 7th with my ring finger. So it's the minor 7th, root, major 6th, back to root. Like that. So up until that point would be again. And from here, I then shift. I mean, I have to do a little pivoting with my hand like that. And then I play the minor 7th again with my index finger. Then I walk chromatically to the octave. Again, up until that point. like that. From here, we then go to the fourth, walk also chromatically to the fifth, and then land on the root note again. And then play the same thing we did before, so root, octave, open E string, then back to root. I'm gonna repeat that whole phrase a bit slower. Rocco repeats this twice for the first verse. Now for the second and third one, he changes it the second time to this here. Like that. So he walks up to the major third that I mentioned earlier. And it's pretty much the same at the beginning. Like that. It's exactly the same there. But then he goes back again to the minor seventh instead of the major sixth. And then walks up directly to the octave. So and from here then he shifts to the major second, minor third and major third. So a chromatic run towards the major third. Then you have to jump back to the root. So I'm gonna repeat that. Like that. One more time, whole phrase, a bit slower. Oh, sorry. Like that. Now let me play both phrases back to back so you get a feel of how those phrases should sound like. So 1, 2, 3, 4. From there, we go to the chorus, which sounds like this. Etc. But we begin by playing E and the octave, like that. And then play E again at the fifth below E, so B. And then move towards C. Here we do something similar. So we play C, the octave, back to C, and then we take an open E string, which is the major third, and then play G, which is the fifth. So we are outlining a C major triad actually. Instead of playing it here like this, we're actually doing C, root note, third, One more time. And then from this G, we play C and then slide back up to E. And then the whole thing begins again. For the second time, we begin exactly the same way as before. Like that. So just E and E. But from this high E, we have to jump to G sharp. And we walk from G sharp to A, and then we go to B. So we're playing kind of like that, but the other way around. And from this B, that is the rhythm that happens there. So everything combined would be one more time. So we repeat that, and then jump to D, and then go back to E. And here, we have to use also muting. And basically, we're playing two notes on D, going up a half step, then we play one note, and then go up at half step again, and play E. So what we're doing is like that. And then we move 2 frets higher. But we're playing everything with only one finger, which is kind of tricky. One more time, it's slower. And here then we go. So this phrase repeats 3 times, and on the fourth time, we go back down, and this is. So we're starting on G and walking from the 3rd to the 5th, then go up to E, and we play muted notes here. And then slide up to G again, and then play G and the 5th. The whole thing repeats again from the intro and verse, and so on. Now the transcription that I made ends there, so going back again to the intro or the interlude, which is just like that. But let me show you how the second chorus goes, because it's a bit different, and I think it's pretty cool to know how to play that. So we begin exactly the same way as before. So it's different on the second portion of it. We go like that. So instead of going to the lower G sharp, we go to this one. Again. Like that. One more time. And then it repeats exactly the same way as, you know, the first chorus. So that's gonna be it for today. I hope you guys liked this video. And like I mentioned, take your time, put on a metronome and focus on getting that pulse like really locked in, because you have to play it for a long time in the song. And pay attention to how much muting you're doing, and also with which finger you're leading, and that your 16th notes are really, you know, falling straight into place, that you're not dragging or rushing. And it's very important to pay attention to the right hand, because if this is in sync, you know, if this is going, you know, like a clock, then what happens on the left hand is gonna fall into place automatically. I hope you guys like this video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and also don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with the content that's coming to the channel. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.